Here are some gift ideas to give you inspiration to find something special for the people in your life. So I've never done a Christmas gift guide video before, and I feel like every time I'm watching these videos, it's a lot of the same things over and over again, and they're recommending the same products over and over again, which might not necessarily line up with the people that I'm giving gifts to for a holiday season. And a lot of the times they're a little bit expensive and feel a little bit, salesy in those ways. And so I wanted to come up with a video to give some inspiration on the types of gifts that you could give to someone in your life without necessarily giving you the exact gift that you need to go out and buy, but more so like get a little creative with the types of things that you're giving to the people in your life. Hopefully this can kind of spark an idea for you to give to someone in your life. If you do think of something that you're going to try to give for this holiday season, then comment it below and let's all share our ideas. So number one are subscriptions. There's two different kinds of subscription. There's ones for things and then there's ones for like services. And I am for sure more of a fan of subscriptions for services, not so much things like Birchbox or like Stitch Fix or like even like Book of the Month Club. I've given Book of the Month Club and that was a big hit, but you end up with a book every month that you add to your library in your home. If you don't want to give a gift of a thing, there's also subscriptions maybe to like Nuuly, which is a brand where you can rent clothes every single month and then just return them at the end of the month. And so you're not adding to your closet. Maybe you don't have the closet space for it, or the person you're giving to doesn't. Another one is Storyworth. I gave this to my dad a few years ago and he still talks about how this is one of the best gifts, where every month they get a prompt and can write like a chapter of this, essentially like a memoir of their life. And that's a lot of fun to be able to kind of pass down these stories. And then at the end of the year, you have a printed book of everything that they wrote. And so it's kind of a sentimental gift as well. That gift was such a big hit. Like I wish that I could like give it to him again and just have him like, I don't know, maybe I'll give it to him again. He can do like 12 different prompts and have like a version 2 of like all of his life stories. So that one is definitely a big hit. Another one is YouTube Premium, and I wasn't even sure of like the benefits of YouTube Premium. I don't even have it. YouTube Premium means it's ad-free, so you're not over waiting the 5 seconds to hit your skip ad button. And then it also allows you to continue to play videos even when the app is closed. That was something that I thought, I'm like, that's kind of a nice thing that, maybe you wouldn't buy for yourself. But what about a Costco membership or an upgrade to the Costco membership where they get the executive membership and then that gives them additional hours to go shopping? They get in early on the weekend. Or like a AAA membership. It's like kind of an unsexy gift, but like very practical, and you know that they're gonna get use out of it. And these are things that are going to make their life easier and they're genuinely going to be grateful for. There's also things such as memberships for family activities. This is becoming a lot more common, like a membership to the aquarium or to the zoo or like a local children's museum. If there's one around you, there's not really one around us. Membership or access to some sort of local pool. We have a hotel near us where even if you're not a guest, you can purchase like a pass to use it. Or why don't you give them the gift of a pass to be able to use a local pool? And I'm also going to include gift cards in this kind of like subscriptions category. And gift cards, it's like maybe you want to give them a gift card, but you're like, I don't want to just like give them a gift card to the Nike store to go buy a pair of Nike shoes, but I know that they like running, or I know that they're interested in fitness. Well, what if you got them a voucher for like a running shoe fitting? Find a store that has professional like shoe fitters there and help them find this store and get them so they can go and get their shoes fitted, and then they can maybe give them a gift card towards the purchase of a shoe from this store. Or a bra fitting. Find a store or like a boutique where they have professionals there to give them a fitting and help them find the right bra. Even if you don't go and purchase the bra for them, give them some money towards the purchase of a bra, or help them find a location that has this service for them. And that could be a really wonderful gift as well. It kind of fits into like the gift card category without having to just hand them like a card in an envelope. Another gift card is a gas card, or even like Uber. If they don't drive, like an Uber card, something like that, that's like they're going to use that up. So the second category are things that are like services. A couple ideas is like, what about a knife sharpening service? So you have knives in your home, they have people come to your home and sharpen your knives for you. Dog grooming, have the groomers come to your home. You know, they park in your driveway and groom your dog for you. Piano tuning. Eric's grandma gave this as a gift to us one year, and it really has helped us keep the piano in good condition. Or what about piano lessons? If they have a piano, or if they're interested in like learning a new instrument, help them find a piano lesson class or like a guitar lesson class. And again, set them up with a voucher, or find, you know, a private teacher that you can pay for the lessons for them. Maybe if they have a car and they need a new sound system in their car, you can pay for the speakers, or you can maybe help with the installation. Maybe they're paying for the speakers and then you'll pay for the installation for them, or you'll find the local shop that will do the installation for them and you go with them and give them a ride when they drop off their car. Things like that. That's very thoughtful with not necessarily having to be extremely expensive. Speaking of extremely expensive, the next category is things that are free or cheap. This would be where like the DIY gifts come in, and DIY gifts is like a huge category, and it just kind of gets a little overwhelming and like all the options of the things that you can like DIY and make yourself. Like what exactly would be something that they would want? Because, you know, we don't all have the skills to be giving DIY gifts. Like maybe it doesn't turn out all that great, and then you're just kind of like, well, it's the thought that counts. And like, yes, it is the thought that counts, but we also want to make sure we're proud of the things that we're gifting. If you can make something by hand, you can do something like buy them like a plain bag, but then decorate the bag yourself. So it's like a practical thing, but then you put some like time and effort into it. You're decorating it with their favorite colors or their favorite things on the outside. I know someone who they love lilies and flowers and fresh flowers, but they have a cat, and lilies are poisonous to cats. So someone made them a crochet lily so they could have crochet lilies like in their home that without hurting their cat. And I was like, how thoughtful is that you would take the time to do that? I personally don't know how to crochet, so that wouldn't be an option for me. Along those same lines, if you're not as crafty, you can maybe do something with like baking, but that's kind of hard if they have like maybe dietary restrictions and you're not entirely sure like how that plays out. Then even if you don't actually bake the recipe and give them like freshly baked things, which sometimes is kind of hard to coordinate the timing with that, or if they live far away and you want to like mail them something, it's kind of hard to like mail them, you know, a loaf of bread, I don't know. Why don't you get the ingredients for something, print the card on like a cute little paper, or like handwrite it in your handwriting on a piece of paper, and then put all of that into a basket and then give them the recipe and the ingredients as the gift, and maybe they would want to be able to bake it themselves, and maybe baking is one of their hobbies. If they love reading and you're not quite sure like what types of books they like to read, or, you know, books are expensive, you can do like thrifting as well, but also like the little free libraries in your neighborhood. If they live in a different place than you, then they for sure have different books in them. So you can find a book that's like probably, hopefully in good condition, and just like wrap it up really sweet with like a little note, and that is a completely free gift. You're picking out a book for someone and thinking that they'll like it. It's a very thoughtful gift. And speaking of thoughtful, if you have plants, maybe you have a lot of house plants, you can propagate these plants, or like take little clippings, put them into a smaller pot, and give them the gift of this new plant that you created. And then you're like connected because you have the same plants, and their house and your house is like, you're connected by these plants. Like very thoughtful, completely free, and also just shows, you know, the time and effort that you like put into this gift that you think that they would like. So the next category is donations. This is a common trend now where people ask for donations in lieu of gifts. Sometimes they'll give specific places that they want to have be donated to if there's a cause that's like close to their heart. But if you're not entirely sure what that would be, if there's like a sorority girl or like someone in a college who has like a philanthropy or a charity that they're raising money for, then make a donation to that charity or philanthropy, help them meet like fundraising goals. At the end of the year, there's a lot of events and fundraising goals and things like that that they're raising for charities. I remember when I was in college, that was really important. We would donate to Prevent Child Abuse America and have different like fundraising events, and it would be really thoughtful if someone would donate to that on behalf of me and my sorority, as well as Heifer International, I think is how you pronounce it. Heifer International donates to developing nations to help them become more self-sufficient. So you can donate like a hive of bees, you can donate like a flock of chickens, or you know, some goats for some milk. That is really charitable. And then you also get a little ornament, and you can wrap the ornament as like part of the gift if you actually want something like physical to give them as well. So the next category are things that I consider gift adjacent, which seems a little silly, but hear me out. So if you know that they like taking pictures and maybe they have like a Polaroid camera and they love this Polaroid camera, it's like, well, don't buy them another Polaroid camera, buy them the film replacement packs. So replacement packs to the items and for their hobbies that they already have. If they like knitting, buy them yarn, you know, kind of along those lines. Also for printing pictures, there's the Instax printer, and then there's the HP, it's called the HP Sprocket, and both of those you can like print directly from your phone and put into like scrapbooks, or I think the print is like stickers and things like that. And so it's like it kind of expands on the hobbies that they already have. So sometimes the suggestions are to buy people something that's like really fancy or luxury or expensive because they wouldn't normally buy that for themselves. So a lot of the times it's like, oh, buy this really nice shampoo or buy this really nice perfume that's maybe like out of their like normal price range, and it's like, oh, that way you can like treat them to something they wouldn't buy for themselves. I'm gonna challenge you, if you know the shampoo that they like to use, then buy them a huge jug of it. Just like buy the biggest size that you can get. Because I know if someone buys me something that I use and I'm going to use every day, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like so thoughtful that you know me well enough to know the shampoo that I like. And also I'm surely going to get a use out of it. Buy them something that they already use, but buy them like a lot of it. I kind of touched on this before, but don't underestimate the unsexy things. Socks and underwear, maybe be kind of weird if you're getting that from like your coworker or something, but if there's someone that you're close to that you know they're gonna need some socks and underwear, nobody wants to buy that for themselves, so they're gonna be really grateful that someone thought of it and they have it in their drawer for when they need it. It's like, thank God, you know, my mom bought that for me because I really needed it. I also know there was one year that my cousin really wanted a new electric razor, and I remember just being like, you want a razor for Christmas? Like, that's not fun. That's not like cool. You know, you can't like show that off. And it ended up being like one of his favorite gifts because he like had sensitive skin and really needed something that was nice, and that razor was like his favorite gift for the Christmas. And I was like, that's kind of lame, but he loved it. And it was like, that's one of those like unsexy things that end up being a complete hit. There's a company called The Art of Shaving. That one's kind of like a little bit higher end, and they have different like kits. So you can get, you know, instead of just getting like a razor, you have like a full kit that kind of makes it more like intentional. And kind of going along those lines is try to be creative about finding a solution to a problem that someone has. Like, I was talking to a friend recently, and she was talking about how she would go for walks with her kids in the stroller, and she has her Stanley water bottle, and she's like, it would tip over, or, you know, if she had her coffee in the cup holder, she can also have her water bottle. So her idea was I should get a stroller caddy with 2 cup holders. Great idea. There you go. Another cup holder for her stroller. Or what about a water bottle that closes? So she could put the water bottle underneath the stroller and have it tip over and not worry about like spills and things like that. So it was like, there you go, be creative. What's the best way to solve this problem that she has? I really have the trouble with all of my school drop-offs in the morning and having to get everybody out of the car, going through the drive-through. And Maddie wasn't able to get herself unbuckled in the back seat. I've mentioned this a few times. She's in the third row. So they have a tool called an unbuckle me that she's able to use on the buckle herself. And that way she can get out and go to the door and they'll let her out in the drive-through lane. And it's like, that has made such a big difference in my life. And it's such a small little tool, but it honestly, it just makes like the daily things that I'm doing easier. And this is also the category where I'd put subscriptions. We talked about subscriptions, but things like HelloFresh or like Hungry Root, where they can do like meal plans and take the like mental load off of planning your meals because you have like your HelloFresh meal waiting for you. Again, meal planning or meal delivery services, things like that are also really good ideas. Doing that takes that mental labor off of them, and it really is doing them a favor. Like, you're giving the gift of time and the gift of the mental labor if you purchase like a meal delivery service for them. So I kind of consider this like doing the dirty work for them really helps a lot, even if you don't have, like I said, a physical product to wrap and give them. So here's kind of what I'm talking about with that. I really wanted to do a family photo shoot. I had never done one before, so I didn't have like a photographer to reach out to. I wasn't entirely sure where to find them. I was like, okay, I may like just do a little Google search. Do I go on Facebook? Do I go on Instagram? How do I find, like, search by location? Like, I was very overwhelmed by this process. If someone could find local photographers for me, reach out about their availability or like how far in advance that you have to book out with them, get some quotes on different types of packages, and then present that to me so I could choose between A or B. That would be so helpful because it really just takes that barrier away from actually doing this thing that I want to do. If you do all of these steps for me, I can actually go, even if you're not paying for the photo shoot. Don't pay for the photo shoot, but get them all set up so I can just jump right in at the end and then have the photo shoot and the photos, and then that's your gift to me. Now I have these family photos that I've been really wanting for so long, and I'm so grateful that they finally get done. Doing all that research ahead of time so you can kind of get the ball rolling, maybe showing up to the photo shoot and standing behind the photographer to like woo 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 woo, like get the kids' attention so they have actually good photos. Like, there you go. You're not paying for the photo shoot, okay, but you're really giving a gift that's going to be helpful in the end. Also, things like maybe they have a dream vacation and they're like, I've always wanted to go to Venice, Italy. Maybe you can create like a little guide for that location, you know, find like top rated restaurants, attractions, maybe some kind of like hidden gem locations, scenic locations, a little calendar, like best time of year to travel calendar, travel necessity checklist, or like a packing list, things like that to kind of help them with that dream and maybe like have that become more of a reality. And you're not paying for their trip, but be thoughtful about something that's really important to them. Or maybe they already have a trip planned. You know, are they going on a cruise in the upcoming year? Then buy them like the perfect crossbody bag for them to wear while they're on the boat. Maybe they're going to like an international location. What about like a passport cover? New luggage, you can just get them like a new carry-on. You don't have to get a full set, but maybe just a new carry-on. I know that the base, B-E-I-S, base luggage is really popular and it's really sturdy. That's a really good quality one, and it's unique too. Everyone's not just having like the same boring old black bag. So the next category is the sentimental category, and it goes along with like the trip planning, because maybe this past year something really important happened and you kind of want to commemorate it. You know, if they had a baby that year, or if they got married this past year, things related to that are really helpful, especially if you go to their registry and buy things off the registry that weren't purchased for, you know, their wedding or their baby shower or whatever it may be. And a lot of the things that are gonna be left are gonna be the unsexy things. They're gonna be so grateful. You know they're gonna like it. They picked it out already and put it on their registry because they wanted someone to buy it for them. And that way your gift can like celebrate that milestone again. Lots of times people do, I know in my family, we have ornaments that we give as gifts, and the ornaments are related to something that had happened that year. So a lot of babies, when you have 4 kids, you get a lot of baby ornaments, but graduation, high school graduation, or college graduation, or getting married, or a trip somewhere when we had our honeymoon, things along those lines from the previous year, all are great ideas as well. And I want to kind of tie this back into like the crafty DIY thing as well. When we're talking about a scrapbook and you're just like, come on, a scrapbook. Everybody talks about scrapbooks, but there's two different ways you could do scrapbook. Are they the type of person that wants you to do the scrapbook for them? Are you gonna get the photos? I don't know, maybe you were on the trip there with them, so you have a bunch of photos. Are you going to print them out and assemble it and do a DIY one? Are you gonna use chatbooks? I love chatbooks because you can upload all your photos and they'll print it for you. And so they have a little book where they can look through it and have those memories. Maybe they're the type of person that wants the actual gift to be completed. Or like myself, I think it would be really fun if you gave me all of the like pieces so I can make my own scrapbook. So buy the book for me, buy all of the little like stickers and paper. If it's for something, maybe a camping trip that I went on that you didn't go on, but I could print out my own photos and add them to this scrapbook that you've kind of assembled for me. And that would be fun for me to actually put it together and have that like sentimental memory. But again, you're kind of doing that pre-work of getting all the pieces together, so all I have to do is just assemble it. And that's more fun than me having to go to the store and buy everything. Relating to like registries and wish lists and stuff, if you're giving to a teacher, lots of teachers have Amazon wish lists. So go onto their Amazon wish list and buy them something from that. Do not get your teacher another mug. And you can give them a gift card if you want to Amazon, but maybe there's something on there that they've been waiting for a long time, and it'd be really nice if someone actually bought them the thing, and it might be the unsexy thing. If you're thinking about these things, it could relate to anybody that you're giving a gift to this year. If you're not interested in doing a scrapbook to commemorate the year, there's so many customizable things that you can do. Do something custom and personal to commemorate the year that they had. My mom loves ornaments, like I said. I've also gifted like a wall hanging before where it had their where they got engaged, where they got married, where they had their honeymoon. This could work for people who were getting married, had a new baby. Maybe they did a trip to Disney World. Maybe they're graduating. They bought a new house. That's a really good one. They were engaged. They had a family reunion at Disney. They got a dog, or they lost a dog maybe, and they want to remember them. If it's something important to them, it's something to remember. And you can do things like photo collages, scrapbooks, jewelry, a little charm bracelet, t-shirts. I had a t-shirt of my dog Lucky and I loved that. I wore that everywhere. You can do like the little silhouette cutouts where you have like the profile and then they have like that, and that's a little like wall art. Possibilities are endless. If you're still interested in giving like a very big wow statement gift, don't sleep on TVs. And surprisingly, TVs are really good last minute gifts because you can buy it online and pick up in store and like bring it over to their house. We did this with my parents a few years ago. First of all, TVs are so cheap. So even if someone has like TVs in their house, like you could upgrade it for them. And it seems like such an extravagant gift and you're like, it really wasn't that much money. But we did this for my parents. We got them a smart TV and we installed it and we like hooked it up for them, logged into everything for them, all of the like apps and streaming services and everything, and just like that way they just had the TV done. Again, doing all the installations. Don't just drop off a TV at their house. Install it, get the mount for it if that's what they want, log into the accounts for them, is really put that extra effort in, and all of a sudden it's like a wonderful gift as opposed to like now there's a burden of having to do all of these things. So this would be good for someone who has maybe moved, maybe they're moving like into their new apartment for the first time, things like that. Number 9 is to shop unexpected stores for unexpected things. And this sounds a little weird, but what about going to a hardware store? And you could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot. They have holiday decor there. You can do things like barbecues or like smokers or gardening things. And maybe someone has a garden or wants to get into gardening, bird feeders, patio furniture, lighting, either indoor lighting, string lighting, And these are all relatively easy to get last minute as well, where you can buy online and pick up in store if you're kind of running out of time for shipping. I also think stores like Big Five or like Dick's Sporting Goods, if they have something where they're interested in like camping or sporting equipment, things like that, can you expand on their tennis hobby that they have, or expand on their fishing hobby, or we like to go camping. I've seen things like these 3-person camping chairs. We call it our camping couch, and it's like, buy like a really nice one of those and it kind of like elevates their whole camping experience. It elevates their like hobby that they have. Also going to like Barnes and Noble, which is a bookstore, but then buying the toys there. And it's a little bit different. It's like than going to just Target and buying like toys from the toy section at Target. That was like alliteration right there. But I go to Target all the time. I can walk the toy aisle there and buy the toys that are there. But I don't go to Barnes and Noble to buy toys. So you might find something that's like a little bit different and a little bit unique, and it's just like, wow, where did you get that? Where did you find that? I've never seen that at Target. And it's like, well, I didn't go to Target, I went to Barnes and Noble. I think that that's really cool, because especially because they're a little more low tech. There's not so many like buttons and lights and knobs and stuff. It's a little more that traditional type of toy, and I think that that's kind of a fun option as well. It's nice to kind of like find something a little bit different than what you just like stumble across at a regular grocery store. And so my last category, number 10, is low tech. I am sure you're going to see gift guides where people are recommending the Skylight calendar and they're like, it changed my life. And I was like, for that price, it better be doing a lot more than that, because that is a lot of money and it's very high tech, and you have to know how to have it sync with all of these different people in your life and all of these different apps, and you have to have the space in your home to display it somewhere, which by the way, I don't. So I personally would not really want a Skylight calendar, but that's what they're all gonna tell you because they want you to click your link and get their affiliate codes. I feel like I'm on the low tech train right now. I just feel like we're all kind of wanting to take a step back from like the technology and like the AI and kind of avoid that stuff. So what about something like a basic alarm clock for next to your bed? Now you don't have to use your cell phone to wake up in the morning. You can leave your cell phone in another room or have it turned off or something like that. What about an actual cookbook? There's so many times where you're like going on Pinterest and you're scrolling on your phone trying to find recipes, or like Googling recipes, and it's like sometimes it's nice to just have a real cookbook. The number of times, how many times have you tried to find a recipe and you have to scroll forever to actually get to the instructions and the recipes, and then the page reloads and you gotta start all over? How frustrating is that? That doesn't happen with real paper cookbook. Again, maybe they have a bunch of Pinterest recipes that they like to use. What if we printed it out and you provided a binder with like the clear sleeves so they can slide the paper into the sleeves and make their own cookbook? So they can save their Pinterest recipes, they can save all their HelloFresh recipes and have it in one place. It doesn't have to be like aesthetic or anything, but it would for sure be practical and would make their lives a lot easier. Again, going back to the scrapbook idea, the chapbook, Shutterfly, things like that. I already talked about those. And what about little DIY like hobby kits or like craft kits? I don't know how to crochet, but these little like beginner craft kits, and they're called like woobles, and they have like little characters, and you can like learn how to crochet like a cute little character, and you don't need like a ton of yarn and a ton of like supplies to kind of get started on it. There's different like watercolor books, and instead of just giving like watercolors and like some paper, there's little like instruction books where they'll teach you like technique to learn how to like watercolor. There's also little clay kits. There's one by Clay Moo. Well, they'll give you all the different clay and they'll give you instructions. It wouldn't take up a lot of storage space in my house. Punch needle is another one. Or Lego kits, if you know that they're interested in like a certain, you know, Star Wars, there's Harry Potter, there's like all sorts of Disney stuff where they have little Lego kits that you can like build figures that are related to what they're interested in. And so it's just a fun thing for them to create. And again, maybe they don't want to like purchase it on their own, but they would really appreciate you thinking of them for something that's like a theme that you know that they're interested in. So there's a couple different categories and a lot of ideas of things that you could gift for this Christmas and Hanukkah and the holiday season in general. So if some of these ideas kind of inspired you and you got an idea, then comment it down below so everyone can kind of see these ideas and maybe implement them on their own for people in their own life. And I really hope that this was helpful for you finding an idea for the upcoming holiday season. Really appreciate you being here and following along with more Life of the Troxels. Thanks for watching.